What's up guys, Skidder here. Today the new hot location is the Peak. Each card in your hand swaps its power and cost. Now before we get into it, don't forget to sub for free and stay tuned for more awesome Marvel Snap content and slap the like button real hard if you enjoyed the video. Now let's begin. Okay, at the Peak, there are going to be 3 decks I recommend. First one being a negative Silver Surfer deck. Obviously, at the Peak, it's kind of like a Mr. Negative. Swap the power of cost of all cards. Well, Mr. Negative is swapping cards in your deck, and the Peak is swapping cards in your hand. So it's actually really good, because you can potentially just swap the power and cost, for all the cards, both in your deck and in your hand. So there we go. What we want to do, okay, I'm gonna break this video down in 2 parts. First part is, with the Peak as the hot location, and it appears. And the second part is when it doesn't. But this deck is actually really great, simply because even if the Peak does not appear, it can hold its ground. It's not just going all in with, the Peak, and if it doesn't appear, the deck sucks. Nah, it's not like that. Because we got Mr. Negative, of course, which ideally you want to put it out on turn 3. To do so, we got Psylocke and Sabu. So we can just put down either Psylocke or Sabu on turn 2. Then on turn 3, we can go for a Mr. Negative. Yeah, we cheated out on turn 3. If that's, no the Peak, then all these cards are going to be great. When we talk about Mr. Negative, I think the most iconic card is going to be Iron Man. Your total power is doubled at this location. So, well, it is a 5-0, which is actually terrible in stats, but it doubles the power. What if it's a 0-5? Then this card is just so busted. Yep, a 0-5 that doubles its own power. So it's a 0-10 after a Mr. Negative swap. So there you go. This is just crazy. Simply because if you can get Mr. Negative by turn 3, this deck is just gonna go ham. Just put down a Wong into a Silver Surfer, then boom, you are gonna blow up everybody. Like, you can just even put down a Rogue as a naked one, a 1-3, and then go for the Brute, 2 3s, and then a Wolfsbane. Get as much power as you can, and then the Silver Surfer just pew 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 into a Wong, and your opponents can't do much about it. Especially if you can go for Wong into a Mystique and then Silver Surfer. And that's especially easy with the help of Mr. Negative. And then if, and only if, the Peak is the location and it appears, this deck is even stronger. Because you don't even need to draw Mr. Negative by turn 3 along with a Sabu or Psylocke. You can just play this as easy as you can. You can just slap down the very easy Wong into a Mystique, and then go to town with all these Broodlings, all the 3-cost cards, buffing them with Ironheart, and then finally going for Silver Surfer. Of course, if you can switch the power of Iron Man, then it's just awesome. It's icing on the cake. But even without it, it's gonna be crazy with the Silver Surfer buffs alongside Wong and Mystique. There you go, guys. This is the first deck, and it's pretty much gonna be your go-to deck with the Peak as the new hot location. Now onward to the second one. I'm gonna recommend Ongoing Thanos. Okay, taking a look at this deck, you can see all the lower cost cards are not really the Peak friendly. But how about the bigger portion of the deck? Yeah, Iron Man, we talked about it, is just awesome in the Peak. Blue Marvel, Devil Dino, Profix, and Spectrum. Their power are all very low, so when they get switched by the Peak, they are gonna be very low cost, but with high power. So there we go. A 3-cost Blue Marvel. I honestly think Blue Marvel costs way too much as a 5 drop, but now that it's a 3-5 after the switch, it's gonna be even better. So let's say if the peak appears, then if you got these cards in your hand early on, they get switched and you can surprise your opponents with maybe a final turn Ant-Man plus Spectrum play. Yeah, that could be troubling for a lot of people. And of course, the Thanos deck helps you draw cards. So if the peak is, say, the second or the third location to pop up, then you can already cycle your stones and, get more of these higher cost cards in your hand for the peak to make the swap. And of course, what you want to do with this deck is, obviously, cycle your stones. Obviously, Mind Stone is your best turn 1 play because you draw 2 more stones. Then you can cycle all those stones to draw your cards that you want to play. With this ongoing deck, it's pretty simple. Any beginner player will know Ant-Man is just awesome in pool 1, right? You armor to protect it from getting swiped by something like a Killmonger. You go for Mr. Sinister, and you just, stack up the lanes, and then buff it with Blue Marvel, and of course a final turn Spectrum. And with the peak, these cards are going to cost a lot less. And of course, the Iron Man. You put Iron Man and Ant-Man in the same location. There's pretty much no way they can win against you, right? Especially with the 0-10 Iron Man. There you go, guys. There's this ongoing Thanos in the peak. It is just gonna be crushing. Now, finally, the third deck I recommend is the Sandman ramp. Okay, with the peak, some people might play cards like, decks like the ones that I recommended. The Negative Server and, the ongoing Thanos, they are very annoying because they can play a ton of cards per turn. But with Sandman, if you can put Sandman onto the board by turn 3, then that's going to limit a lot of your opponent's play. And of course, with a ramp deck, you don't really play that many cards per turn. So the Sandman is not going to hurt you as much. What you really want to do with this deck is go for the card draw early with Adam Warlock. Yeah, this card is also really good. As you can see, it's got 0 power, but as a fact, it's great. At the end of each turn, if you are winning this location, draw a card. Usually you have to combo it with stuff like, Amity Maw in order to draw your cards. But now, with the peak as the new hot location, it's a 0-2. So you can pretty much just easily win a lane and then draw a card for free. And by the time they realize, oh, they gotta stop the Adam Warlock, it might be too late, because that one card draw sometimes is already enough for you to get your combo piece. Like Electro, you can ramp stuff up a lot earlier if you can, say, cheat out Electro on turn 2. So yeah, turn 1 Adam Warlock, drawing you that Electro, bam, you're just gonna be on easy street. There you go, guys. You can also, go for Jubilee. Of course, the Iron Man that we talked about. A 1-cost White Tiger. How great is that? A turn 3 Professor X lockdown with 5 power. And of course, Sandman locking people down. And finally, the Odin. Yeah, it's just good. You can make some big plays like Dr. Doom into Odin. And there you go. This is pretty much it. Even if the peak does not show up, you can go for the normal path with Electro into something like a Sandman, Dr. Doom, Odin, and that's pretty much it. Nope, the peak, but still this deck is gonna function really well. There you go, guys. These are the 3 decks I recommend for the new hot location, the peak. There's, Negative Server, the ongoing Thanos, and of course, Sandman ramp, just to shut people down that want to play a ton of cards per turn. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed this. If you have, do not forget to sub for free and stay tuned for more awesome Marvel stuff content. And of course, slap the like button real hard if this has helped you learn a thing or two. Have a great day, guys, and peace out.